said to my daughter, like, right, let's go on a calorie hunt. Basically, we want to try and find the most unhealthy food in the shop. It was great fun. She enjoyed it because she could sort of, I'd buy a pack for me and buy a pack for her. Father of the year. Hi, welcome to Going Along with Cycling Weekly, the cycling podcast about all things ultra, bikepacking and adventure riding. My name's Steve Shrubsall and today I am with Daniel Baines. Dan, I want to talk to you about stinging nettles. Let's talk, it's a subject worthy of this podcast.
Yes.
What are your thoughts on them?
Try to avoid them.
But at this time of the year, almost impossible.
Yeah, pretty much everywhere, aren't they? Yeah, very often you just end up going down a trail and you find, it just keeps getting narrower and narrower. And there's not really a lot you can do, is there? You sort of tuck your arms in and just hope for the best. But
well, I reckon there's space within the government to for a stinging nettle czar. Okay. I think they should be removed from the countryside, Daniel.
Right, okay.
The reason I'm saying this, sorry, I've gone off on a tangent again. The reason I'm saying this is because last night I slept for about 4 hours due to the fact that my legs were absolutely buzzing with stinging nettle stings.
Yeah.
So stinging nettles, big thumbs down from me.
Yeah.
Dan, you look rather brown.
Thanks.
You've been on your holidays, haven't you?
I have, yes. 2 days after we finished our big adventure, I cleared off to Crete for 10 days to recover on a sunbed and eat probably as much as I wanted. And it was great. Cool. I recommend it.
So in terms of cycling in Greece, in Crete specifically, did you see many cyclists there at all?
No, not at all, actually. I looked at quite a few websites that were hiring out bikes and, some were pretty good. There was MTB tours. I wouldn't particularly want to do it on the road.
Right. Why is that?
I don't know, not really a safety thing. I think the roads are kind of either sort of really narrow and twisty, which is okay, but then they just lead to sort of quite a main road, and I wouldn't want to ride on a main road particularly.
Yeah, okay.
And so, going off-road's great, but as I say, it's quite hard to sort of work out, whether it's actually going to go anywhere. When I went running, it was great. It looked good on Strava, on a map on Strava. Looked at it on Google, looked fine, but then actually got down there and they just decided to sort of close the road with like a load of boulders. So,
right.
I was running, so I just sort of clambered over them and kept going. But, on a gravel bike or a mountain bike, it would have meant sort of probably turn around.
Okay.
And, that's like, 20 minutes into a ride, so a bit frustrating. So I just didn't want to have the hassle of it all, really.
I actually didn't realise how big Crete is. It's pretty, it's wide, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like 200 miles-ish?
I don't know whether it's that, actually. But, it's quite a diverse landscape, really. And, mountains-wise goes way above 2,000 metres.
Yeah.
I was talking to a guy.
Are there roads up to that?
Yeah.
Right.
Fairly high. I was talking to a guy who actually did like cross-country skiing during the winter. He says it's good. There's no downhill. But I was sort of thinking,
it actually gets snow?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Enough to have snow.
I suppose at 2,000 metres you would, wouldn't you?
Yeah. So there was me thinking, would it be great to sort of come here in February, have, 4 or 5 days riding. So something I might look into, actually.
Yeah.
A bit off the beaten track.
Yeah, I haven't had the chance to get away yet, although, as I mentioned in a podcast a couple of weeks ago, I did go to Finland. Hurrah. That was really good. But I have been getting hot. I've been training again in the shed.
Yeah.
So, middle of August, warm, no aircon in the shed either. I just wanted to test, myself. Obviously we've been doing a lot of ultra long distance rides this year since March, really. And I haven't done any, formal training since then. So I wanted to go and check my power. I jumped on on Zwift. Had a couple of goes on my whoosh as well. Did a time trial on it. Back over December, January, I was able to sort of, as is well documented in Cycling Weekly, I was able to part with 400 princely watts for 20 minutes.
Did you mention that to anyone, Steve?
I mentioned it to as many people that read the magazine as many times as possible. And yeah, that has significantly decreased, which is not really surprising though, is it?
No, not at all. I think since I've been doing more sort of long distance riding over the last couple of years, and certainly a lot more sort of off-road cycling, I'm not as quick as I used to be on a road bike, despite kind of doing the same amount of hours. It's completely different to me. It's a lot of level 2. But I've tried to sort of keep the intensity, the threshold quite high, but it's just,
Because you're following a trainer road program at the moment, aren't you?
Yeah, I was. Yeah.
And how's that going?
It went okay. It was good because it meant I didn't have to think about it. I would just look at what I had to do that day, just get on it and do it, and then sort of forget about it. But I'm not sure it kind of really got a measure of my fitness and what I can sort of do. I was doing the master's plan and...
Oh, yeah. So the master's plan is what they've spec'd for...
Over 40s.
Over 40s.
Yeah.
And time crunched as well.
Yeah. It was. I did the mid-level plan, which is about 5.5 to 6 to 7 hours.
That's quite a lot, though. That's a decent... I know it's not sort of, there's people out there, sort of doing...
Yeah.
Of our age, doing 20-odd hours, isn't there? You know?
It's generally what I've always kind of got away with. But I felt like the easy sessions were maybe a little bit too easy.
So a lot of zone 2 respect.
Yes. And I would like to have done another kind of intense day on there. So I'm just due to sort of change my program. So I might go down to, a level that puts in another intense day in there. I think I would benefit from that.
Yeah, sure. Well, I mean, from 400 watts myself, and I was training a huge amount in the shed, on the turbo trainer. I was in there every day, either doing a really long zone 2 session or just absolutely smashing VO2 max. I wasn't really doing anything in the middle unless I was racing, unless I was doing a time trial, which would be like a 20-minute jobby. Yeah. And that's how I came to get a pretty decent power output, 400 watts for 20 minutes, which was only about I think it worked out, my highest watts per kilo worked out to about 4.6. Yeah. But, there's a lot of naysayers out there saying, oh, you did it on a watt bike atom. Like, well, you use the tool that you're given, don't you? So, I am now, I'm not using that anymore. I'm using a Wahoo Kicker core, and I'm got about 360 in me for the same duration at the moment. So since sort of noodling around on the road, well, not really noodling. Obviously, when we do long rides, we're putting in some big efforts at times, aren't we? I know we're not going full gas, but I've lost about 40 watts over the course of, since March. So, but I'm determined to sort of, pick that up again.
Yeah. I think it's interesting. It's a pattern I've seen. It's like you sort of see yourself probably fitter than you ever are in winter when you're training inside at the end of the day. It's a great tool for people that haven't got that many hours. It's, you don't waste much effort on a turbo.
You don't need to do a lot at all. An hour a day on Zwift or my whoosh or whichever platform you choose, my Ruvi or there's myriad at the moment. I know. And I saw the day in, day out sort of intensity that you do in your workouts. And I've sort of done that in the past as somebody that sort of wants to just get on and have a really good workout. You end up sort of looking in a week, you've probably done 4 or 5 really sort of high, threshold or VO2 sessions. Yeah. And there aren't many coaches that would recommend that, but it has actually worked for me. You see big gains, certainly to sort of, at threshold, obviously you'd spend a lot of time there. And since getting on the trainer road, I've done a lot more at zone 2 and,
it's changed my body. I'm very much better in the LT1 zone now, fat burning zone.
Yeah.
But, you know, I have sort of lost that top end. And, you know, you sort of sometimes, it's hard to say goodbye to that.
Yeah, it doesn't take long for the top end to fall off.
Yeah.
But yeah, such is life. We'll get over it. Yeah, so that's what we've been up to. Dan's been to Crete. I've been to my garden shed. Dan, what are we talking about today?
We're talking about the South Downs double, I think, aren't we?
We are talking about the South Downs Way double. For those, I mean, we have talked about this before on the podcast. I talk about the South Downs Way a hell of a lot because I love it and I hate it in equal measure. But it is an amazing place to ride a bicycle, to hike, to run, to walk your dog, to do hot yoga, or to do whatever you damn well want up there. But it is an amazing place. It's a national trail that runs from Winchester through to Eastbourne. And it's incredibly undulating, isn't it?
It is, yeah. I think for me, it being in the sort of south east of England, you sort of think, well, it's not that bad. It's not, you know, it's not Wales, it's not Yorkshire, it's not Scotland, you know, it's not the lakes, whatever. But actually you can do a lot of vertical ascent in not a lot of distance. And it's not just the sort of the terrain, it's also, you know, the surface as well. That's, I think, is very easy to overlook. It's just very hard on the body.
Well, you've got a mixture of chalk, sort of sharp, slatey gravel, as we found out.
Flint.
Flint, sorry. So we've ridden it a number of times, this single from Winchester to Eastbourne, which is 100 miles and about 11,000 feet of climbing. What's that in new money?
About 3,300 meters, is it?
Something
like
3,300.
4.
Yeah. So it's quite a heavy climb to, distance ratio. So we've done that a couple of times, but the ultimate South Downs Way challenge is the double. And we tried it last year. Didn't make it due to various technical issues and rain. Ended up sort of sleeping rough in the woods, shivering under the... I had your... what are they called? Space blankets.
Yes.
Yeah. As we found out, they rustle a lot because, I couldn't get to sleep and it kept you up. So it
was a good adventure, Steve.
It was a good adventure.
I think, you know, it sort of went downhill from there, really, didn't it?
It did, yeah. It did very much so.
But, you know, it's a great memory.
It is a good memory. So, you know, unfinished business. We went back this year. We went back at the beginning of July and had another bash at it. So we started in a place called Amberley, which is halfway along the trail. And we started about 8 o'clock in the evening.
We did, yeah. It would have meant there would have been probably about 6 hours of night time ahead of us, wouldn't there? Not, you know.
Yeah.
We wanted to minimise riding at night, didn't we?
Oh, yeah, of course, because it got, I think the sun set about 9:30.
Yeah.
And rose at about 4-ish. So, yeah, we had about 6-7 hours of sort of riding in. And actually, there was a full moon the first time.
Yeah, it was really nice, wasn't it?
And yes, fortunately, I didn't turn into a werewolf on that occasion.
Smelled like one.
Thank you very much, Daniel.
As did I.
We'll talk about the animals we saw later because night riding is amazing because of. Sounds a bit weird, but what you see, you don't just see darkness. Yeah. I mean, it's strange. All you've got is that avenue of light in front of you, and that's it. But yeah, so we started at about 8 o'clock in Amberley, headed east to Eastbourne, and things were going well.
Yes.
We were on time. But our sort of MO here is to do it sub 24 hours. That's basically what we want to do. But yeah, okay. So the first 20 miles, pretty good. Then things started going pear. Why, Daniel?
Tyres.
Yes, tyres. The South Downs Way is an absolute sorry on your rubber. If you haven't got a sort of newish set of tyres, you're asking for trouble, even if you've got tubeless, as we also found out. So I was all right at the time. I was on a mountain bike. I was on my Canyon Exceed SF8. Dan, for the first time you were riding?
I was riding a Giant Revolt X, which is their gravel bike with a front suspension. It's got a claimed 53 mil clearance in the back and 50 up front.
And what were you running?
I was running 50 on both.
Right.
And I really want to be able to do it on a gravel bike, but I'm just, the more I sort of do it, I think, yeah.
Why? Is that a comfort thing?
Yeah, it's just the bars, I think, really, as much as anything.
Yeah, without doubt.
Just a variation.
Yeah. Because there's no point with the South Downs Way, there's no point in putting aero bars on, because I don't think you'd ever get the opportunity to use them, not to be aero, but just to have that comfort, because you're either climbing, and you can't climb really in that position because we got 10% plus gradients, and you're not going to descend off road in the aero bars, are you? So,
no.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
But yeah, my history with it, the first time I did it on a cyclocross bike, and I think I had 33 mil tyres on that. I've done it on a mountain bike a couple of times, and I've done it on my gravel bike, as I say. And
33 mil tyres.
Yeah, I think actually kind of weight kind of comes down to a lot of, I think you should take into consideration how much you weigh. I think like lighter people can get away, obviously, with lighter tyres and a lighter bike. But, you know, I was pretty loaded on the bike. The bike was probably 10 kilograms.
And what do you weigh at the moment, Dan?
I'm 83 at the moment.
That's mad. You've put on weight.
Yeah, I've put on a fair bit of weight in 5 years. But to go back, so yeah, added 10K of a bike onto that, and then probably another 10K of kit. You're probably looking at 100 kilos.
Yeah.
And, you know, I think that makes quite a bit of difference.
Think about my poor bike then.
Yeah. Well, you had full on mountain bike with mountain bike tyres.
Yeah, there's a reason for that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that says it all, really.
Yeah.
So yeah, tyres. And yeah, I got the first flat at 25 miles in. It was about midnight, dark. Wasn't it?
Well, it was, yeah.
And just a case of, well, let's just keep putting some air in and hope the sealant seals it. And it didn't.
No.
We plugged it. It was on the sidewall, wasn't it? Which is quite hard.
It was quite a sort of wide cut as well, wasn't it? A wide hole.
And anyway, we sort of made do. We kept going. I think I got another puncture, didn't I, on the tread. We plugged that. So I had 2 plugs in my rear tyre. And we got to Eastbourne, and
you'd had about 7 or 8 punctures by then. And we just called it. We were stopping and stopping and stopping. And by then, I mean, we'd set off at 8 o'clock. We didn't get to Eastbourne until 4:30 in the morning.
Yeah, it was getting light, wasn't it?
Yeah,
when
it was starting to get light. You could hear the seagulls sort of, you know, waking up, getting ready to eat their daily quota of chips. So it was sort of a case, right? I think we said, right, if it lasts on the climb back out of Eastbourne, we'll keep going. If not, let's call it. So obviously it didn't. You ended up going, you went down to a place called Lewis and sorted your bike out.
Yeah.
I think it was, what time did you sort that out?
It was about 6:30 in the morning. Yeah. I think I didn't want to slow you up. At the end of the day, I had a spare inner tube. I had 2. But I was just thinking, well, I'm just going to keep punching. I've got 50 miles back to the car. Yeah. And I didn't want to slow you up. So I thought, well, you know, the tyre not in a great state, but let's get it on the road. And so I just ended up riding back from Eastbourne. There's a really good bike path from Holgate, which is, sort of parallel with Eastbourne.
Good
through to
kebab shop
Lewis.
there as well.
Yeah, through to Lewis. And then I ended up riding along the road. And I actually had quite a nice road ride all the way back.
you got
Some
the
lovely little
sunrise as
villages.
well.
Yeah. And
It was a stunning morning.
training-wise, I did about 11 hours of riding. So,
And a lot of climbing as well.
yeah, I racked up nearly 3,000 metres of climbing by the time I got back to the car. So, yeah, I did 100 miles. I had a good training route, but obviously I was there to do the 200.
Yeah, as was I. So when Dan left me, we said our fond farewells. I was like, take your rubbish bike away from me. No, it's normally my bike that breaks, but yeah, I started heading back and I thought, right, I'm in two minds. I mean, 24 isn't going to happen now. Sub 24 hours isn't going to happen. And we'd always said we were going to do the 24 together. We've been training on that. I don't think we really see each other outside of that trail that often, do we? That's where we normally see each other. But I just thought, right, I'm going to just go as far as I can. So in the end, as far as I can was I made it back to the car along the South Downs Way, and by which time it was like midday or something like that. And you were already there.
Yeah.
And I felt quite good despite not having slept for, well, God knows how long, 36 hours possibly by then.
Yeah.
And I thought, right, I'm gonna have another go. I'm gonna keep going back out west and see how far I get. That transpired to be about 5 miles before I thought I can't be bothered with this. Turned around. I mean, my food had started to run out as well, and the South Downs Way is quite well provisioned with cafes and stuff like that, but you need to be constantly eating, and I just wasn't. And my mood sort of,
I think Amberley is a great point to start from because it's in the middle of it, but it does give you the option of bailing.
I know,
and that's not always a good thing.
No,
But, it seems safe to leave the car there.
Yeah.
If you're going to head east, you get all the sort of, I think you get the really sort of difficult stuff out the way in the first half.
The jury's,
it's debatable,
the
isn't
jury
it?
is still well out on that. I don't think there's any easy part. No. I think the west is as hard as the east. So, but yeah, in the end, so you did about 100 odd miles with 10,000 odd feet of climbing. Yeah. I did about 110 with 14,000 feet of climbing.
You just had to beat me, didn't you?
I did. That's the only reason. It's really how dare you get the same amount of mileage as me? But and do it on the road for a much easier ride. But my abiding memory, my enduring memory of that day was the sunset when we were riding away from Amberley. It was incredible.
Yeah.
And the sunrise as we were coming back out, coming back west, it was just, I mean, it opens up a whole new perspective, doesn't it, on riding?
It does. I think for me, it's the first time I'd gone through a night without, sleep for a long, long time. And I've never done it whilst riding a bike before. So I had my reservations about that. Would I just sort of fall asleep on the bike at 4 o'clock in the morning and end up in a ditch? I didn't, as it happened. And I sort of felt fine all the way through the night. And I slept a little bit in the car, but I probably could have got through the day.
It's that drive home that you got to be careful about.
Yes.
It's when you sort of, the A3 turns into a sort of computer game. It's like, it's a bit like that. I had to pull over a couple of times, even on like the half an hour journey home.
Yeah. No, I was all right. I had a little sleep in the car and it got me through.
Yeah.
So I took quite a lot of confidence from that actually, going into the next one.
Yeah.
And I think that was the big thing for me leading into it. That was the unknown to me, was how I would deal without sleep.
Yeah.
But
now we know it's easy.
Yeah. And I went into the second.
Yeah.
I went into the second time we tried it, a lot more relaxed. I managed to sleep the night before, because that's the other thing. You come into these things and you've got like pre-event nerves, and I don't sleep.
I agree. We tried it once last year, but the first time we tried it this year, early July, I was really quite nervous.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
At the end of the day, it's just riding a bike,
yeah,
isn't
I
it?
know.
But yeah.
And then we tried it again. So basically our ride ended there in the Amberley car park, having once again failed the South Downs Way double.
Yeah.
So I think we both got home and thought, oh, I can't be bothered with that trail anymore. And then the next day I sent Dan a message saying, I'm going to have another go at that. And he was like, yeah, I'll do it as well.
Yeah.
So we made plans to do it again, to try it again. And it was only 2 weeks after we tried it initially, wasn't it?
Yeah, it really fired me up, actually. I was, because I think whenever we've tried it before, it's always been summer. And I think in my head, I was like, well, I've got to do it in the summer because of, the lack of, nighttime, basically. But I was like, well, I can't wait another year.
Yeah.
I'm not putting this off another year. It's too frustrating. So, yeah, let's do it. And, I'm glad we did, really.
So, it was the same place, same time, Amberley, 8 o'clock, set off. No punctures to Eastbourne. Nice night ride. Got to Eastbourne about 2 o'clock in the evening.
Yeah.
Eating a lot. I took dates with me on this occasion. Before I was eating chocolate, I thought, I don't want to keep filling myself up with this rubbish. Even though I found a new sort of world record breaker in Sainsbury's. So beforehand, Bits of Whisper had the record for the most calories per 100 grams. Now it's Oreo Bites.
Yeah.
So they're like 610 calories for 100 grams, which is pretty good.
Yeah, yeah, pretty good going. It's interesting, isn't it, that through all my sort of time of riding a bike, you're sort of looking for healthy food. Well, spending a bit of time in a supermarket, going down sort of places, aisles, which I wouldn't normally do it, just looking for stuff that are really calorific.
Yeah, I said to my daughter, right, let's go on a calorie hunt. Basically, we want to try and find the most unhealthy food in the shop. It was great fun. She enjoyed it because she could sort of, I'd buy a pack for me and buy a pack for her. Father of the year. But, for us, we're going to burn it off, but it still doesn't feel like it's a good thing to do to your body, does it?
No, not really. It does weird things, doesn't it? I think you had, was it Jill Mooney on the podcast a while back? She's basically saying that when you're doing something like this, you just need fuel. And a lot of that isn't the sort of, can your body deal with the sort of sugar? And mine's sort of all right with it. Again, this is something I sort of found, but looking for sort of fats and that. And I think
I'm not necessarily fats, just a healthier form of sugar, like naturally occurring sugars, like dates. I was really surprised. I bought figs, which were okay, and dates. They're really cheap, and just like a handful of them every now and then.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And a really quick release.
Yeah.
Glycogen.
Yeah.
So that's the way I was fueling. How were you fueling your effort through that one, mate?
I had it's like a bento box on my bike, and I had walnuts in that mixed with jelly babies, and
sounds good.
It was actually all right.
Yeah,
sweet.
So walnuts, you're getting fats.
Well, yeah, walnuts. Again, this is like my sort of go-to calorific thing. Really, I think. In 200 grams of walnuts, you get 1,400 calories.
Seriously?
Yeah.
I did not know that. How come you haven't told me this before?
Well, I'm
keeping secrets.
Share all my secrets with you.
Yeah, God.
So yeah, that was going on, and there was gels and stuff, and
and you had cheddars as well.
Cheddars again. My Jacobs cheddars, 700 calories a packet.
Not Jacobs.
Jacobs.
Are they?
Yeah.
I'm not sold on that. Answers in the comments. Cheddars, which brand are they? Pretty sure they're not Jacobs. Seriously, Google it. They're not?
They are.
All right. Are you sure?
Yes.
Okay, right. I think they're not. I think they're Walkers, but okay.
Not Walkers.
Anyway, they're very calorific.
Yes.
Right. So... yeah, fueling, brilliant. First 50 miles to Eastbourne, felt good.
Yeah.
we made it there in sub 24-hour time.
Yeah, it was a good time,
we
wasn't
were
it?
exactly where we wanted to be. We didn't really stop that often. We only stopped to fill our bottles. Didn't have to buy any food because we had it all with us.
There wasn't anywhere to buy it, really, was there? It was middle of the night.
It was midnight as well. Yeah, but there's that one garage.
The Esso, isn't there?
Yeah, on the
A27.
Yeah, but yeah, we studiously ignored that and kept riding past.
Yeah, I think that was right as well.
Yeah, and yeah, I think we got to, where did the sun rise?
It was Eastbourne.
No, because we got to Eastbourne at 2:00.
Yeah, actually, you're right. No, it was
It was Fell Beacon.
Phil, yeah.
Yeah, so that's sort of halfway back to Amberley. And we got back to Amberley, so 100 miles on the clock, feeling all right.
You were feeling all right. I wasn't.
It's the thing, though, it's up and downs, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's massively up and downs because one minute you'd be feeling, I could see you were like flagging.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, come on, what's wrong with this guy now?
Drop
And then, 5 minutes later, and I'm pretty sure that's from a lack of food.
Yeah, I think I saw with you, like you would eat and like 20 minutes later you'd be off.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, hang on a minute, I'm just going to try and keep this consistent. And then, we'd sort of get a bit even and then we'd be riding at the same pace, wouldn't we? But I think, my knee started to get painful about 70 miles done.
I forgot to say we were on for the duration, we were both on a cocktail of codeine and
Naproxen, which is an anti-inflammatory.
And Pro Plus. Yeah. I'm not sure. Cocodamol, so not like, straight codeine. Dan needed it for his knee. I just needed it just to have some codeine. But the Pro Plus is pretty good.
Yeah.
Again, you wouldn't want to be taking it on a too frequent a basis. But it was pretty
once
cool.
every sort of 3-4 hours is fine. I think it's got 50 milligrams of caffeine in it.
Right.
So it's not like you get the jitters or anything like that. I think with some of those gels with caffeine in, you're looking at 160 milligrams of caffeine and pretty wide after that.
Yeah, those Sturka gels and the powder.
Yeah.
Whew, that's dynamite.
I think Pro Plus was quite nice because it didn't sort of have any sort of feeling of, hitting me.
No,
it was just,
unfortunately.
Yeah, it just kept me going.
Where's the euphoria?
Yeah. And so, I started taking the anti-inflammatories and the painkillers at about Amberley, I think.
Right, so with about 100 miles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was, I had tendonitis in my right leg, around my knee. And so, I think the hardest bit for me was riding out of Amberley, just that sort of 8 miles from there to Cocking. Like you end up going, it's quite hard going, isn't it? There's a lot of flint up there. And I was, psychologically, it was like, I could just turn around now and get back to the car. I'll be there in half an hour.
Were those thoughts going for your head?
Oh, yeah. But I was like, well, this is where kind of grit and determination come in. And also, sort of keep telling myself,
they weren't going through. I don't think failure was ever an option for me, actually.
Yeah.
On this occasion, although things did happen, things went wrong again.
Yeah.
But I just thought, even if I have to walk this damn thing, I don't want to have to come back here again.
Yeah.
I love the trail, but this was something that was starting to get annoying. The fact that we couldn't finish.
Yeah.
So I think we got to Petersfield, Queen Elizabeth Country Park near Butser Hill at around 4:00 in the afternoon, and that's when I was at my lowest.
Yeah, we had that discussion, didn't we? It was a lovely day. Like we sort of well, do we sort of kip down for 20 minutes? Because I was thinking, well, I'm going to have to sleep sort of at some point tonight. I'd rather not sleep when I'm going to get eaten by a load of bugs. So, would 20 minutes kind of now get me through?
Yeah. Well, by now we've gone a long time without any sleep. We've ridden through the whole night plus.
Yeah.
We started at 8:00 at night, so we didn't, we hadn't had any sleep on the Thursday either. So it's, I don't know, about 36 hours, no kid.
Yeah. But, you said, well, let's get through to Old Winchester Hill, was it? 8:00, 9:00, we'd sleep there.
I think because I was the one that suggested, okay, let's sleep. I feel bad.
Yeah.
And then I'd run out of my dates and stuff, and we went in the cafeteria and bought a sandwich.
There wasn't a lot there, really, was there?
Not a lot there. And all of a sudden, got my energy back. Actually, I could ride to Winchester and we could just sleep on the outskirts of Winchester. But yeah, so we did carry on.
Yeah.
Albeit, I mean, very tired, starting to feel slightly underfueled. So fueling strategy already not optimum. Could have taken more food, basically. So,
yeah, I think so.
Yeah, that's a lesson. But yeah, coming into Winchester, I was descending yet another hill. They're all very spiky, so I was coming down a 10%, very rocky one, and yeah, I heard a sort of pop, and back tire went flat. Looked, it had come unseated. I was using tubeless. It's like, okay, should be able to plug it or, get it back on the rim, seat it back on the rim. Couldn't, even with a shot of CO2. Also had my little hand pump as well. Didn't touch the sides. Literally, it didn't touch the sides. And I think, we had to tube it. Tube lasted about 5 seconds. Then, just like completely despondency overtook me. And you really, because, I was sort of without a bike. That hinders you. So I think, with about 150 miles on the clock at this point, I think we just thought sleep.
Yeah.
And as much as it shames me to say, we sort of bundled into a hotel.
We did.
Which is not quite outside the unwritten rules of the South Downs Way double, but it's teetering on the verge, isn't it?
It is. Well, it's either teetering on the verge or it's sleeping in the verge, basically. And I think,
why didn't we sleep in the verge?
Just bugs. Do you remember, like, you were changing your tyre?
Yeah.
And I think you sat on an ant's nest, and it's like, I don't mind wild camping, and I had sort of kit to do it, but I think by then my sort of will had gone. I was tentatively thinking, like, let's just keep going, because I was in quite a lot of pain by then, and I knew my painkillers were going to run out. Yeah. So I was just like, just keep going, because I should have enough to get me back. Okay.
Well, you had the pain thing, and I think a huge amount of like the fact that we stopped there stems from not eating enough food. I don't think we ate enough. I think, we always start well, first 100 miles goes well, and then it's easy to stop eating, and you can't stop eating on that trail because it's so difficult. Yeah. It's so tough to ride on. So I think if we do it again,
we will.
We'll have to eat more.
Yeah.
Anyway, a night in Winchester. I had a lambooner, 10 poppadoms, garlic and cheese naan. What did you have, Dan?
Whatever you bought me, Steve. I just ate it. I don't know. I don't actually know what it was. It wasn't the biryani, which I asked for. I know that.
Well, the guy initially delivered it to the wrong hotel. So it's like, how do you do that?
It's a bit frustrating, wasn't it?
So I had to wait a little bit longer for it. And, we were sort of chatting about what we're going to do tomorrow, and sort of mid-conversation, Dan just went
nodded
like
off.
That. And I sort of came to saying something about McDonald's. So I was like, I just remember I was like saying in my sleep, McDonald's is no good for anybody. So, it was a bit of a weird night. But we got up feeling pretty rejuvenated and back on the road.
I think it's the first time I've seen you, because we got given a couple of free beers, didn't we? And it's the first time I've seen you leave some beer behind.
I know. Yeah.
You must be gutted.
The Indian guy said, I'm so sorry that the original meal went to the wrong hotel. It's about 11 o'clock by this time. I said, "Oh, don't worry." He goes, "Oh, can we add anything, in it to sort of soften the blow?" I said, "Oh, just put a couple of cobras in there and I'll be happy." And I ate the food and just passed out before I could have a go at the beer, which was very disappointing.
Yeah.
And I thought about taking it with me the next day, but 2 large cobras
going off.
Yeah, they're and what transpired, actually I could have done with them, given what happened 14 miles into the second
the
day
return journey. Yeah.
So we thought that my tire issues had been solved. I've got a good inner tube in there, sort of tire looked okay. 14 miles in, so up to Old Winchester Hill, it went again. And that was that. And you were in pain with your knee. You gave me your inner tube and shot off. About 2 minutes after you shot off, I broke that inner tube. Because you had those lightweight inner tubes, didn't you?
Yeah.
They're really weird.
Yeah.
Were they more costly than?
A little bit more, but yeah.
But the valves are awful.
Yeah, they're pretty. They bend quite easily, don't they?
No, it's what happened. I used my electric pump on it, and it just expanded it broke the valve basically. So
I think leaving you on a bit of a funny note was you were looking for a trough to work out where the hole was.
Yeah, it's like because there must have been a microscopic hole in the inner tube. Couldn't find it at all.
No.
Couldn't hear it. Couldn't feel it. Tip water on it. And then I went off to find a cattle trough to try and stick the inner tube in to find the hole where the bubbles came out. But I broke the tube before that happened. So I phoned you quickly and thought, please pick up your phone. And you did. I said, listen, that inner tube's broken. Have you got another one?
This was the second one though, wasn't it? Because I took the one that you broke on the first day back with me.
Yes.
Because, it was useless.
Yeah.
But then you phoned me and said, what about the other inner tube?
Yeah. And you managed to, by now you're about 3 or 4 miles away. And you managed to what 3 words me the absolute location of the inner tube because you'd hidden it in a bush. And the what 3 words were, I don't know, they were hilarious. Hang on. I can't but they were like zinc fluttering bum or something like that. I can't remember. It was just really funny. So I had to walk that 3-4 miles to there because, otherwise I would have smashed my wheel up.
Yeah.
Got there. It's like walking with an elderly rambler. Just, she was walking the length of the trail. Then got there, changed the inner tube over. Literally 30 seconds later, down again. Bum. I've got to do this. I'm not going to leave this trail until I get back to Amberley. And by this time, I think you're about Petersfield, back at Queen Elizabeth National Park, Country Park. So I kept walking, and then I found a couple of blokes and just, listen, have you got a inner tube I can buy off you? And they were like, yeah. So I bought that off them, stuck it in the bike, started riding. Hooray, it held. Made it to Queen Elizabeth Country Park, went in, got some food, came out, it had gone down. Fortunately, there's a mechanic there, sort of hidden away towards the back. I said, please make my bicycle work again. I was nearly crying at this point. I just want to get off the trail after having ridden 200 miles on it. He was like, mate, you need a new tyre. This is completely busted up because beneath the rim, that's where there was a big hole. And so you couldn't see it. So I bought a Maxey's Ardent off him. Great tyres. And the rest, as
so
they
you're back
say,
to tubeless?
Back to tubeless.
Yeah.
And that makes you feel so much more confident.
Yeah.
I will never ride with inner tubes again.
It's again, it's a tyre issue, and we've had so many tyre issues, and I think I've had times when I just can't get mine to work. You've had times when you can't get yours to work. But going into this double attempt, the last double attempt with me, I was like, well, I'm just going to buy 2 tyres. They work for you. I'm just going to get the same one. So I had Maxxis Icons 2.25s. So they don't roll very well. They're not very quick, but I was just like, I just want indestructible, really.
Yeah, they're one of the faster rolling mountain biking tyres, as are the Ardents, apparently. But
anyway, I wasn't taking any chances. But, you obviously had more miles on yours.
I had a huge amount of miles on those tyres. Yeah.
And it just goes to show, like, just can't neglect your tyres going into it. And, like, we joked, didn't we, before we started, like, do we take a spare tyre? And I had a spare tyre. Yeah. And I just couldn't carry it. And I was like, well, can you carry it? And you said no. And that may have made a lot of difference, but it may not. You can't. It's very odd.
I don't know. There was obviously, obviously my tyre was completely bust.
Yeah.
But, I think, so the main takeaways from that, we both got 200 miles on the clock. We both got 24,000 feet of climbing or whatever it was. We did have to take that pit stop in Winchester. But the main takeaways from that, I'm really pleased I've done it, really enjoyed the ride, even, it was hard, really like hard mentally and physically. And, when punctures happen, you really got to sort of rally and decide what you got to do. I mean, my other half was only on the other end of a phone, not that far away. I could have said, listen, but, it was a case of just got to get this done, and we both did it. So
yeah, it was great.
But the main takeaway, I think, if there's a next time, eat more, new tyres. I'll put new tyres on my bike.
Yeah. I think it's always a learning experience, isn't it? But I think I would certainly go into it again, sort of obviously knowing that I can do it. I'd like to do it within 24 hours. Sure. I think there are things I would do differently leading into it. We were hiker biking quite a bit of those climbs, and that was quite nice as I have a bit of a relief.
It's a good bit of stretching.
Yeah, you're walking up a hill doing sort of 1.5, 2 miles an hour, and you do that for 20 minutes, and it's sort of, you're not actually going very far. So to be able to ride some, it's the first time I'd done that. I'd sort of ridden every hill before when I'd done it. So maybe I was being a little bit conservative in my sort of thinking.
I think you probably were, mate. I mean, I noticed you getting off more than I did, but I think you could have we could have ridden most hills apart from Amberley Mountain 1 coming into Lewis. Yeah. And I'd also say a big mistake I made in terms of food, I switched quite suddenly from simple carbs, so sweet sugars, dates, to complex carbs. So I had a brown bread sandwich and it took ages to kick in.
Yeah.
Ages. So I didn't have anything. Then I switched these complex carbs and I just bonked. I just completely, and I could barely move.
Yeah.
But, when it did kick in, I could obviously start going again. But again, I lost probably 15, 20 minutes. You saw when we were going up Winchester Hill. So
it's like the second day, the return leg from Winchester to Amberley for me, I actually felt quite sort of full. And I think, obviously, we'd had some time off the bike, had a good, sort of 7-hour sleep, had my curry, and I felt fine heading back. It was just, up until 150 miles and, just felt a bit depleted. But, it's not rocket science, is it?
Yeah, but I think overall, riding on the South Downs Way gets a double thumbs up. Riding through the night gets a quadruple thumbs up, and Maxxis Ardents get just one huge thumbs up. So back on the trail next year, Dan?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think you mentioned wildlife earlier, and you're a bit of a bird buff, aren't you? And the first time we saw, was it kestrel hovering? That was nice.
Oh, we were just there was a kestrel just sort of there.
Yeah,
and it was sort of just meters above our heads. I don't
Nightjars.
know if it was like scoping us out. I know we
Yeah.
were feral at the time. But,
Yeah.
and badgers, I mean, it's amazing the amount of badgers you see on the South Downs Way. It's just, you sort of catch a sort of really silky black and white sort of shadow zip past you, and that's amazing to see.
Yeah.
Nightjars, obviously lots of rabbits,
Lots of sheep and lots of cows.
lots of sheep. Sheep makes some
and
weird
flatulent horses.
very flatulent horses, yeah. Obviously, South Downs Way is available for you to ride at any time. It's free because it's not an event. You can just go and ride it, and you can try the double. If you do the double, we'd love to hear about it. Drop a comment down there. If you do it in sub 24, absolute kudos to you. Absolute kudos. You must be incredibly fit. And tell us how you did it. Tell us where you started. Any sort of issues you had with it. There's a few sort of sanctioned events that you can take part in this year. I know we're in August now, so there's not many left. On the 6th of September, there's the Cotswolds 200. Well, actually, there's a 100, a 200 and 300 mile editions of that. That's on the 6th.
Is that on off-road? Is it?
That is, it's a mountain bike event, but there is road in it. Not that much, as I recall. I did do it in 2022. I remember it being incredibly hard, but I'm going back for more. There's a huge amount of climbing in the Cotswolds, but it's slightly easier than the South Downs because of the road aspect, and it's not all undulating. There is some respite in there. So I'm heading over there on the 6th. Hope to do that in sub 24 hours. I would like to do a flatter event. If anyone knows of any flatter ultras, I'd be all over those. There's one in Norfolk further east, or East Equinox or something like that, which also looks pretty good. Tailfin Detours, which is organised by Tailfin and our erstwhile colleague James Bracey. That is a gravel event that takes place on the 12th of September. So Google that. It's like a sort of entry-level ultra.
Where's that, Steve?
So that is in the Brecons.
Yeah.
So you get checkpoints. Basically, there's one mandatory checkpoints and several others which you can sort of ride up to in order to gain more points and therefore potentially win the race. So the more checkpoints you get, the more points you get. Yeah, and that's how a winner is declared. And the Southern Divide on the 18th of September. That's their autumn edition, obviously. I did it in May. Amazing event. Really, really recommend that. Takes in the best of South England. So,
How far is that?
That is 700k.
Yeah.
So starts in Land's End, finishes in Rochester. So obviously starts in Land's End. So you got Cornwall, Devon. You got to work your way through those. It is mainly off road. Well, on and off. A gravel bike would be all right. I used a mountain bike. And then you've got the Jurassic Coast, which is incredibly, it's a spiteful section of the English coastline. And then it goes on to a little bit of the South Downs Way and then onto the North Downs Way, where it finishes in Rochester. And lastly, if you want to venture a little bit further afield, the Utrecht 500 is on the 20th of September. 500 kilometre ultra around Holland. So some possibilities for you there. Okay, thank you for humouring us, listening to our South Downs Way double adventure. Hope that's given you some inspiration. And we'll see you next time. Cheers, Dan.
Yeah. Cheers, Steve.
Cheers, mate.